This is it's a big deal. What's happening? WrestleMania, obviously. I know the whole weekend, everyone's excited about this, but you guys had to start somewhere. What's it like? Do you remember, Roman, when you first started? Like, what were those gigs like?
Oh gosh, it could have been anywhere. We
Yeah.
could have done it in a parking lot. We could have used cars parking lot. It could have been
Did you
a
really?
fairground. Yeah. it
How
was
many people in the crowd?
Armories. The lightest show I've ever done was 2 people. Yeah, yeah, just 2. Yeah, but
Oh
yeah,
my
it got
God.
so bad that I was like asking for requests. Like, what do you want to see? You want a body slam?
Yeah, I can give you that. I'll give you whatever you want. Yeah.
So it's been bad, but we're in a really, really good place right now.
I mean, you go from that to Brooklyn the other day, which is sold out, made history.
Amazing. So we did. Woo! Yes, thank you. And we, Tribal Chief, our Universal Champion, and myself, the Final Boss, we were there in Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn, we broke a record. It was the highest grossing Raw in U.S. history, which says a lot. Yeah, really incredible.
That's amazing.
It was really, really special. You know, and now that I'm back and in the grind of it all, as he has been for years now, carrying the company, things like that, you try to stay as present as possible because it moves. And the very next night, you're someplace else in a different city. But we had to take a moment last Monday just to recognize just wow and how cool it is that we're in this position. I mean, look, as Roman was saying, we both came from wrestling in flea markets and used car dealerships and making $40 a match to making a little bit more than that. And, you know, this guy's a champion and times are good.
It's a very much a family business for both of you guys. You both have deep-rooted ties into wrestling, span over 3 generations. In fact, I found this wrestling card here. Do you recognize this? Look at this.
Wow, look at that.
This Dwayne's dad, Rocky, wrestling against Roman's dad, Sika, to become the WWE Tag Team Champ.
That's amazing. So for you guys that don't know, Roman and I are family. We're cousins. Our dads wrestled against each other in the 80s. And as a matter of fact, his dad and our uncle Afa and Sika, they were the first Samoan Tag Team Champions of the WWE. And then my dad and Tony Atlas became the first Black Tag Team Champions of WWE, beating his dad and my uncle. So it goes way back.
It's really deep, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, here's you. I have a picture of you, Roman, with your dad and Hulk Hogan. Look at this kid right here. Look at you.
Wow.
Come on, man.
All right, don't mind the haircut. That's how we did it in the 80s, guys.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Were situations like this just normal for you guys? Would you go to the barbecue and people would just be flipping people into tables and stuff?
I'm pretty sure I thought Hulk was my uncle at this point. I'm like, why has he got blonde hair? Everybody in our family's huge and bigger, you know, larger than life. So that's.
You just got used to that.
You just get used to it. Yeah, it's a little bit of a conditioning effect, but those are always great moments to look back on. Yeah.
Yeah. Dwayne, you made your WrestleMania debut in WrestleMania 13.
I did.
And this is something very special happened at this, and I want to share a clip. Look at this.
That's Rocky Johnson! That's Rocky Murphy is dead! That's Rocky Johnson! The Sheik is begging for mercy! He's scooped up and slashed! Oh, no! Get out, Sheik! Wait a minute, look at this! No! Rocky Johnson scoops him up and slams the Sheik as well! Father and son rocking the house here, ladies and gentlemen, at WrestleMania 13.
That's your dad.
Wow. That's my dad.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my dad. Really, that was amazing. And I'd tell you, that was very special. For my dad, who passed away unexpectedly in 2020, he always said that was the most special moment of his entire career. It was really awesome. So
That's so cool you got to do that. That's amazing you got to do that.
Yes. And by the way, how about this? So the guy who we were wrestling, who I was wrestling, the Sultan, is our family too, is our cousin.
That's the Usos' dad.
That's the dad of the Usos. That's Rikishi.
No way.
Yeah, that's our cousin.
No way. Is that hilarious?
That's how we do it. We're just always working together, you know?
Why not?
Or sometimes against each other.
Yeah.
But it's all love. It really is.
We can relate to that at Thanksgiving. Yeah, we all can relate to that. Rome, here's a picture of you here. This is WrestleMania 29 with the Shield. Who's this gentleman here you're wrestling with?
Oh, what do we call him nowadays? Clown emoji? Yeah. So that's Seth Rollins. He was a former chosen family member, but you know how that goes.
He's one of the two who are going to lay the smackdown on that candy ass this coming Saturday.
So it's Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Now, it's been a bloody past several weeks, I will say, by the way. It has been.
Blood has been shed.
Cody is trying.
We like the blood.
We got a blood corner up there.
Because Cody keeps trying to finish his story. That's what the thing. Cody's just trying to finish his story. Can you explain what that is and what people have to expect come this Saturday night?
I think Cody's reading the wrong book at this point because nobody care. We don't care about his story. It's a funny thing because you told me this a long time ago. In the wrestling business, there's no call sheet. There's no, like he's number one, he's number two. So everybody in our roster believes they're number one. So it's just a Shark Tank. Everybody's trying to take each other out. And this guy's been chasing me for 2 years now. I've beaten him. We've crossed this bridge already. So this is where we close the book completely on this guy, Cody Rhodes, and we display what the most powerful family in pro wrestling is all about. That's what this weekend for me is all about.
Yes. Yes.
You think that's what's going to go down?
Well, do I think that's what's going to go down? I know that's what's going to go down.
Sorry. I apologize.
We're about to chisel this in stone here.
Here, look, here's what you have. You have a guy named Cody Rhodes. For those of you who may not know, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, they're both badasses in their own right. I liken Cody Rhodes to Luke Skywalker. True. And I liken Seth Rollins to the Joker. So these guys are really unique, kind of crazy guys, but also at the end of the day, as my cousin was saying, there can only be one. That's it. And when there is only one, you have the tribal chief and you have the final boss. And when the final boss... And so I have the pleasure of getting back into the ring. I've been working my ass off for the past 3. Thank you. Woo!
Looking good, bud.
I've been working hard. He's been working with me, so we'll see what we're going to do, but I cannot wait. The whole idea, by the way, to bring us all together like this, and Roman and I together like this, was just what can we do to create a main event for WrestleMania that we could say is the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Yeah. And so here we are.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm so excited. Dwayne Johnson, Roman Reigns, everybody. Dwayne Johnson is joining us tonight. Yeah, we love you. You did a very cool thing. You recently made a surprise return to WWE SmackDown.
Dude.
First time since 2019. How'd that feel?
It was incredible. So here's the crazy thing about that is we were in Boulder. I was there for College Game Day. And I found out the night before that WWE SmackDown is going to be in Denver, which is right up the road. So I call my buddies at WWE, Nick Khan, and I said, hey, man, I heard SmackDown here. Can you confirm that? He said, it is. I said, good. Well, The Rock is coming to SmackDown. And I went out there, and it was really an incredible thing. I've been really lucky over the years to entertain in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But that kind of connection with the WWE audience, by the way, that kind of connection is just like this tonight with a live audience. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like a live.
There's nothing like it. So my music hit, If You Smell, and I went out there. And
they had no idea. No.
They had no idea. And you guys know how hard it is to keep a secret.
You don't.
Right?
It doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist. This was a full-on secret. The people went nuts. 13,000 people sounded like 130,000 people, and it was just incredible. So WWE audience, it's my family, and I love them, and it was incredible.
Yeah, you said that.
And by the way, I gotta say, not only is that connection just like this incredible, but there's nothing like going to SmackDown and laying the SmackDown on their candy asses all night long.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It all started with your dad, with Rocky Johnson. Here's you and your dad.
Yeah.
And
my dad.
He would have been proud, huh, to see what's going on.
You know, we've talked about this, and my dad was a real game changer in the world of pro wrestling. He was one half of the first black WWE Tag Team Champions in 1983, and it was really amazing. And he was one of my heroes. And he unfortunately passed away suddenly like that, and I never got a chance to say goodbye to him. So any opportunity that I could go back to wrestling and in a way pay homage to my dad, my grandfather, I got a lot of family in wrestling, is always very, very special.
Looking sharp. Yeah, this feels so good, man. Oh my gosh, this is real deal. I mean,
Don't get too attached.
I know, yeah, I won't, yeah. As a kid growing up and dreaming about this, does it feel surreal to you when you hold this, when you have this belt?
Every day, man. I mean, not even just the title, just life in general. You know, I mean, we're very blessed men, right?
Yeah, we really are. Do your kids understand what you do?
They're getting. I mean, my daughter's 14, so she's kind of seen the whole process. Yeah, but I have 2 sets of twins. You know, the babies are 2. The older boys are 5 now. So the babies definitely, they have no clue what's going on. The big boys are starting to kind of understand that Dad goes to wrestling shows. That's what he does.
Yeah,
you going to the wrestling show? And
they just think you go watch wrestling shows?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what they think I do. Because when the times they've seen me, I'm just kind of cutting promos and talking. So I think they think, oh, Dad just talks. But for a long time, like through the pandemic, they thought I work out for a living. Because, you know, we got the gym at the house, and, you know, I try to get in there and do my thing. And they kind of got into it as well, to just come in there and hang out and act like they're working out, grab the 5-pound dumbbells.
That's awesome.
But that's what they think, is I just work out for a living.
It's a family business for you, really. I mean, it's been in your family for. Who's the first wrestler in your family?
So, it started with the High Chief Peter Maivia. He kind of mentored my father and my uncle, Sika and Afa, the Wild Samoans. They were a tag team.
Samoans, absolutely.
One of the greatest tag teams of all time, Hall of Famers. But it actually started, they were just fans. And, you know, they went to a show back in the day in San Francisco at the Cow Palace. Peter Maivia was a huge star back then in the West Coast at the time, back in the territory days. And he was wrestling Pat Patterson, and Pat was beating him up pretty good. And my dad and uncle, they jumped from the crowd and kind of got involved. And so Pat knew, he was like, we got to get these guys out of the crowd. We got to teach them the business, and that way, you know, I don't have to worry about these guys anymore. So yeah.
Whoa,
it goes all the way back to the 60s
story.
and 70s, yeah.
And then when you were a kid, did you know what's going on? Did you wrestle in the backyard?
Man, we wrestled everywhere. So my cousins, the Usos, who are with me in WWE now, we would literally wrestle in every single room. We'd get kicked out. I mean, when their dad would come back from the road, we knew to kind of chill out and, you know, take it outside. But when he was off on the road, it was a free-for-all. You know what I mean? So we were just doing our thing. We would wrestle in the pool for hours at times. So yeah, we were putting in work at a very early age.
I've seen, you know, a handful of documentaries, and it's just fascinating. You just see all the gigs you have to play to end up even remotely close to WWE. But I mean, you play high schools, whatever it is. I mean, you do whatever, and you change names and concepts of what your character does, and it is a rough road. It is a...
Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, oftentimes I say this is like the blue-collar form of entertainment. You know, you got to really pay your dues and you know, go on in this journey, and it's different for everyone. You know, I've been very fortunate. You know, I have my family background that's guided me along the way, and obviously I've been able to tap into a potential that, you know, I was able to unlock. But there's a lot of guys, you know, that we have them currently in the WWE, you know, guys like Seth Rollins that I came up with in WWE that have been journeymen, that have been all over the independent scene, you know, wrestling in armories, high school gyms, like you said, in front of 200, you know, max people. So it's not always...
Sometimes 50 people,
It's not always beautiful. So, yeah, I mean, WWE is the highest you can get, and we're very proud of that, you know, getting to this point, but it can be rough sometimes.
They just announced big news in the wrestling world that Triple H is retiring as a wrestler. I was going to ask you, what does Triple H mean to you? I know you...
Man, you know, H was very critical in this process to guide me along. He was kind of, before I met Vince and built a relationship with him, it was Triple H. He was the one that was down there in developmental, helping guide talent along. You know, he's the one that kind of overlooked it. And before...
Developmental is like what? Like a...
It was like the minor leagues of, you know, WWE. And before, now it's NXT. And that's a big platform for us. You know, they're on, you know, Tuesday nights on USA Network. And they're a big show themselves now. But before that, it was just called FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, in a tiny little warehouse. and we were wrestling in front. It was like those armories in the high school gyms in front of 50 people, killing each other for what felt like nothing at the time. But yeah, Triple H was huge in guiding me along.
He had faith in you? He was like, I know this kid's going to do something?
I think so, yeah. I think he recognized the potential, and he was just always good to me. Early on, I was always the type, that was asking for raises. I was like, can I get some more money? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. Can I get, 2 months later, can I get some more money? Yep. And then there was a point where they're like, no. And then I was like, well, can you ask Triple H? And then the next morning, you're getting more money.
Really?
Yeah, so man, H has hooked me up. He's always looked over me.
Don't forget that.
Inside and out the ring, he's the best.
Yeah, I love always, anytime I've had him on the show or dealt with him, he's truly genuine, awesome, great guy.
First class.
This is this Saturday, WrestleMania 38. Is it 38 already? Oh my gosh.
I know, man.
It's a big deal. It is, this is, you have the belt, but this one's winner take all.
Yeah, this is a unification right here.
So you and Brock Lesnar, who's not a small dude.
No. No. I was trying to come up with something. No.
Let's
just be honest. He's a big boy.
He's
a big old country boy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's giant, and he scares me. Even just saying his name kind of scares me too.
I got your back. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because I was a little frightened even just introducing you as well. This is you. This is you in WrestleMania 34 versus Brock. And this is not, we didn't color this.
Oh, yeah.
That is blood. That is your blood on your face.
That's my blood, yep.
What's going through...
Brock did that, yep.
What's going through your mind at this point?
I think in this moment, I can finally see, because once that blood started coming down, it gets in your eyeballs, you know what I mean? So, and for any of you who have never had blood in your eyeballs, it's quite thick, and it can completely blind you and you can't see. So I probably did one of these, you know what I mean? And then I saw it was Brock. He's still there. And,
He didn't go away.
Don't worry.
Yeah, he didn't go away. Yeah.
And he was still there.
He was still there. That's even more. Okay, good. At least I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
So after this Saturday, smoke clears, WrestleMania. What are we gonna see?
It's checkmate, man. It's time, that we close this chapter and move on. So for me, I've been on the run of a lifetime. I think I've solidified myself clearly in the modern day as the greatest champion to be a part of WWE.
That's right.
And for me to kind of, get past this chapter of Brock Lesnar, I think it just puts me on a playing field on a level that no one else can touch. So this is...
That's what I'm talking about. I have a feeling next time you come on the show, you're going to have 2 championship belts. Roman Reigns, everybody! I got to say, you have a bunch of great signature moves, but one of my favorites is the Superman punch. Mm-hmm. Look at this here. That's you. That's you, by the way. That's not, it's not fake or CGI'd or that's your flying, basically.
I really did that, yeah.
My question is, what are you seeing? Because this is what we're seeing. But what are you seeing when you see the opponent's face? Like, what are they doing? Are they going like, no, or what?
No, yeah.
Please.
A bunch of stuttered nose, remorse, regret, you know what I mean? Like, final thoughts or prayers, I don't know. It's like, why am I in here with this guy? One of those things, yeah.
This weekend, this is a big match.
Survivor Series, yeah.
Survivor Series.
Barclays Center, it's going down.
Survivor Series this Sunday, and this is also, weirdly, the 25th anniversary of The Rock.
You guys know that. You know that guy, right?
This is Survivor Series, 25 years, The Rock. The rumors are spreading around. You don't have to say yes or no, but people are thinking maybe he's going to make an appearance.
These are rumors, you're saying?
Well, is it? I don't know if it's a rumor.
I have not heard these rumors, and I would think I'm closer than anybody at this point. So I don't know. It's not what I've heard, but I also debuted at Survivor Series as well, so there's a nice little tie-in there.
Yeah.
But
fans think that you guys, I know you're family and everything, but they think that you guys should fight each other. Would you ever fight The Rock?
I would, yes. I don't know if I don't know if he wants it, but so that's kind of something that we do in our family as far as sports entertainment, professional wrestling, WWE. This is our platform. This is our family business. I fought one of my cousins, the Usos, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
about a year ago, and where better to kind of solve problems than in the squared circle? You know?
That's exactly
And a
right. Yeah,
WWE
that's
ring,
correct.
You know?
I know that I want to quickly mention last week tickets went on sale for WrestleMania 38 in Dallas.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've been to a WrestleMania. WWE does not mess around. These things are legit. They are such a giant event, and this is now a 2-day event.
Yeah, we've somehow WWE we've managed to make it even bigger. So yeah, it's like.
I know last year Bad Bunny.
Oh yeah, we had Bad Bunny come through. It's always kind of a, we try to bring as much outside entertainment and just make it as big as possible. So I think, I don't want to reach here, but
Yeah.
we got to have you.
Me?
Yeah, why not?
Really?
Why not? You guys want to see Jimmy Fallon at WrestleMania 38, right?
Yeah.
Like,
All
not to
right,
put him on the spot here, but
I'm there.
the invite's there, huh?
I will go. You invite me.
we shook on it. Of
course.
Business is done.
I'm there. This Sunday, what can we expect from you?
I'm going to smash him. I'm going to get.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
I will say, I'm going against a really great athlete.
Yep.
Big E, he's the WWE champion. He's the best on Raw. But, I mean, my work is spoken for. I'm operating at a whole different level, man. So, we're going to smack him
That's
around.
exactly right.
Yeah.
You're the best, buddy. Thanks for coming by, please. And I'll see you at WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
Roman Reigns, everybody. I got to say congratulations. You're being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Buddy, come on. Well done.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you get to the point in your career and that you get to the point where you're old enough to go into the Hall of Fame, right? You
you're like,
still
oh
feel young, but you're like, nah, I'm old.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But you were surprised by the news, right?
I was.
Undertaker and...
Yeah, look, as I run the creative for WWE, so in the last few years, I've been like, I'm not putting myself in the Hall of Fame. It is just not,
Yeah,
you can't do that, right? And
Yeah.
so I wasn't going to do it. We had plans for Hall of Fame this year for other people, and we were at a town hall where I was talking to our, WWE's about 800 employees or so, and doing a town hall, and it's all business stuff with WWE President Nick Khan. And at the very end of this, all of a sudden out walks Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and I'm thinking like, damn, I should have probably read this format better. Like, I had
like, what's going to go down right now?
no idea they were coming out there, and they started. I was very confused, and then they started to get into the Hall of Fame, and I was like, oh man, they got
Here we
me.
go.
But to be inducted or to have it be done that way by two guys, Shawn's my best friend, and The Undertaker's just one of the biggest legends and one of the guys that I respect the most in the industry. It was just very, very, very meaningful.
Yeah, here's them surprising you right here.
Usually, if Taker's out there with me like that, he was choke slamming me through that announcement.
yeah. This is very, very nice. Before you were a Hall of Famer, Triple H, early in your wrestling career, you went by different names.
Very many.
Yeah, I just thought maybe we could revisit some of them.
Let's do it.
This is the first character that you wrestled as. Your name was Terror Rising.
Yes.
Terrorizing. Here you are. And that's good. He's terrorizing. Dude, come
So
on.
the,
no, look at the hair. Come on,
Yeah.
look at that. It's fantastic.
Like many people, I'm sure I had the Farrah Fawcett poster when I was a kid, and
legendary Farrah Fawcett.
It made an impact on me, and
Yeah,
I
you
went
took
with
her hair.
I went with the hair. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
This goes to show you that sort of at any point in your life, no matter what you look like right now, you can overcome that. So hey, there's still hope.
Oh, thank you. I
there you
appreciate
go.
that. Yeah, thank you very, very much. Then you ended up changing your name to Jean Paul.
I didn't change my name to that. The company I worked for changed my name to that.
Because why? Because your last name is kind of...
Because my last name is Levesque. They, as a company that was based in Atlanta in the South, they thought the last name Levesque was this unique name, which it is not. And I had been called to do interviews, and they called me in and they said, we're changing your name from Terrorizing, which is bad enough, to John Paul Levesque, which I thought for a moment might be worse. And they said, we like your last name, it's French. Now go in the other room and cut promos in French. And I was like, it's a big misunderstanding here. Like, I don't speak French at all. And they were like, well, great, go in the other room and speak in a French accent. And
You really don't speak... You didn't speak
I don't speak
French.
French
No.
at all.
Well, thank God there's no footage of you as Jean Paul anywhere.
Why do I feel like that's a setup?
Here's a look At Jean Paul in 1994. Take a look at this.
Let me start by apologizing to all the people here today, because I know the men, they see the look in the eyes of their women when Jean Paul walks into the building. They fall to the ground, they fall to their knees in awe of Jean Paul.
There you have it. The comments from Jean Paul.
There you go. Fall to their knees. You fall to your knees, Jean Paul.
At least my hair was wet and I didn't have the full fluff going on.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
true.
I mean?
Yeah. You made your WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 12.
Yes.
It was you versus the one and only, the Ultimate Warrior. This is you up here.
That is,
Yeah.
that is me. That is me before I would tragically land in the middle of the ring before getting beaten.
What
Yes.
goes through your brain as you're being thrown in the air? I mean, first of all, the fact that anyone can lift you up in the air is insane.
Yeah.
Throw you.
This actually, it's a funny thing for me. This is my first WrestleMania that I would compete in. And for a lot of people, they think this is almost an embarrassing moment in my career for me, where I was basically squashed in a couple of minutes by the Ultimate Warrior. But for me, it was my first WrestleMania, and two, the Ultimate Warrior is one of the biggest stars ever in the WWE. So when they came to me and said, you're going to get to work with the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania, I was just out of my mind excited. And sort of that to me is one of my greatest memories of just it being, it's like going to the Super Bowl and,
Yeah.
you got to throw against Brady or something like that. It was just such a great experience for me, and I enjoyed it immensely.
But what a great career you've had in the whole of your whole wrestling life. But here you are, you started as we're just saying all these different characters. Now you're the chief content officer of WWE. You and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a board of directors.
Yeah.
Could you ever think that those two would be in charge of all this?
No, look, if you go back in time and take the Farrah Fawcett hair guy and the pineapple hair guy and say, hey, these two guys are going to be running all of this, you would not invest your money in that.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's really crazy. I remember meeting Dwayne for the first time and just thinking, God, this guy is just, his charisma is off the charts. Like if he's at all, because I just met him backstage, if he's at all athletic, he's going to be a huge star. And, not only becomes a huge star as The Rock in WWE, but would go on to be the biggest box office attraction in Hollywood ever.
That's right.
And what's really cool about it is all these years later, that was like 96, all these years later, he and I are still collaborating on things and working together behind the scenes to make WWE as great as it can be. For him, it's in his blood. His grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, his mother was a promoter, his dad was a wrestler, Rocky Johnson. So, it's in his blood, it's in his DNA. I make a joke with him all the time. When he would do the people's elbow, which I took like every night while he was kicking my ass, he would stand over you, and as he was getting ready to do the run, you would see him break out in goosebumps all over him. Because the energy and the electricity that come from a live crowd in WWE is like nothing else. And I say to him all the time, you can't get that in Hollywood, man.
No.
And it's, when he comes out now, he still does a thing where he'll hit his arm and show it to the camera because it's covered in goosebumps. And that energy, that electricity that our fans bring to what we do and we give back to them, it's magic. It's like nothing else. WWE is just incredible.
It is you could see how much love goes into all of it.
It really is. It's a passion project, and I didn't grow up in the business. I was just a kid sitting on the couch in my pajamas watching wrestling every Saturday morning for all hours of the day. That just wanted to do it more than anything in the world.
Kids, this could be you one day. This could be you one day. Yeah. But let's talk about WrestleMania 41. This is a big deal. This is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Yeah, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas next weekend. So it's 2 nights, and the big main event on the second night is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
Las Vegas.
Yeah,
WrestleMania in Las Vegas. What is it? What can we expect?
They say everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but with us, everything that happens in Vegas that weekend will be heard worldwide.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Is John excited to...
So John Cena, who is the ultimate good guy and has been, his whole mantra, his entire career, hustle, loyalty, respect. he has just been the ultimate good guy. You know, as a human being, has done more wishes for Make-A-Wish than any other celebrity in history.
Yeah,
He's incredible. But the challenge on this is he's in his retirement run. He will end his career, in-ring career, in December with WWE. So he's kind of got this year as his farewell, and he came back and turned into a bad guy. In our business, he turned heel, and he beat the crap out of Cody Rhodes with The Rock and with Travis Scott, and they beat the crap out of Cody Rhodes, and it's amazing to see that transformation of John from like the most beloved character in WWE to just Darth Vader. They hate him, and he is working very hard to make them hate him. So it's
going to be something great to watch. You've been a guest 15 times. We've never referenced the "You Can't See Me" move.
Yeah.
Of where, what is the backstory of it?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, get the damn internet.
yeah. Of course.
I became a superhero long before donning the Peacemaker costume. I developed a special maneuver in the WWE called the "You Can't See Me," in which I put my hand in front of my face and say, "You can't see me."
Yep.
And the reason I did this is because while we were making the album, to which my theme music is on, my younger brother Sean was always our litmus test. He kind of liked the same music, and he would never go to the studio with us, so we'd come home with our tracks and we'd play it for him, and he was ruthless, man. He would never be satisfied with any song. And he heard "The Time Is Now" and just did this dance that Tony Yayo did in one of the G-Unit videos. It was like he put his hand over his head and just kind of like bobbed his head like that.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember that.
And I was like, man, what are you doing? That looked like just ridiculous. He's like, no, man, that's Tony Yayo dance is doing this thing. And I'm like, I'll do it on TV. And he's like, I dare you to do it on TV. Little did he know I'll do this on TV. So
yeah,
it was before that.
Don't dare John
So
Cena.
basically, on a dare, by absolute chance, I went out there and I figured this wasn't visible enough, so I wanted to do this. And the term "you can't see me" is like, well, you're not even on my level. And then like years later, it just overcame the meme culture, and now literally I'm invisible. People are like, why is Jimmy Fallon talking to an empty chair? Like that, so many people are gonna say that.
Yeah, they really are.
So I'm invisible now.
You are invisible. Wow, I didn't.
On a dare, by accident.
While you're in China filming this movie, do you want to say what the movie is called? Or
It's called Project X, and I'm filming a two-handed action comedy with the legendary Jackie Chan.
No.
Yes.
You and Jackie Chan?
Yes, the greatest physical storyteller of our generation, for sure.
I would love to do that. It's fantastic.
It's awesome. He's awesome.
Did you learn any moves from him?
Of course. He taught me my new finishing maneuver, the Shandian Chuantou.
What is that?
That's supposed to be threatening. It's not exactly supposed to get a laugh.
Yeah, what?
It's cool. It's all right. It's cool.
But this is your new...
Work in progress.
This is the sixth move of Doom.
Yes. So I'm known for 5 moves of Doom. And I figured it was time to evolve, me having been in WWE 16 years now. So it was time for a 6th move of Doom, a.k.a. the Doomiest.
So this is the Doomiest?
It's the Doomiest move.
But it is a...
Stand up. Stand right here.
Okay.
No, stand right here. We're friends. So
We
I'm
said you're
going
gonna
to say
punch
this right now. Don't move. Stay right there. Don't move at all.
No, seriously, because what if I...
Seriously.
All right.
Okay?
No, but I don't like
Because
this at all.
I have-
Like, why do we... Can we just talk about the book and get out of
Tremendous
this?
accuracy with this deadly maneuver, but if you move, I will knock you out. So...
I don't like this at all.
So
Dude, this
usually
is like,
my
this
opponent
like,
is incapacitated.
Wait, hold on a second. Tariq, do you want
Don't
to try
move,
that? He's
damn
a big
it.
fan.
No.
He's a big fan of yours.
Listen, you asked about it. Here it is. Here's the Shandian Chuantou right up in your face. So you get like a warm-up, and you
my
say,
God.
it's Shandian Chuantou in Mandarin translates to lightning fist. So I'm a good guy with a weather machine, so I have the power of lightning. I say, Shandian Chuantou! Jimmy Fallon, everybody! Jimmy Fallon! What a good sport!
Before we go to commercial, I have a quick question, because I saw a video of you deadlifting like 600 and something pounds.
It was 40th birthday.
I mean, 40th birthday, why don't you just go to like an island and go like, you know, have a drink or something?
Bro,
You deadlifted?
From John Cena.
Oh, you're John Cena. I'm sorry. Why would I ask that? Here's my question. Here's my question. Could you deadlift a person? Could you deadlift?
You guys don't want to see it.
Come on, could you do it?
Let's try it. Let's try it. I surely can
What do I
try
have
it.
to do?
Okay, all right.
I just gotta be still.
You gotta lie down.
Okay. Okay.
Here's the thing. You gotta think stiff as a board, stiff as a board, stiff as a board. Give me one of your hands. We're gonna shake hands like this.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm gonna get the old. See if the old guy still got it ready. Here, I'm gonna need some enthusiasm. I'm gonna need some enthusiasm.
John Cena, everybody!
This is our
Season
board.
2 of American Grit premieres June 11th at 9 p.m. on Fox. Mac DeMarco performs for us next. Stick around, everybody. Come on back.
Thank you guys.
Congratulations. What a great year. Starting with, I mean, I gotta say, you won WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 40. Undisputed. Thank you.
You came on before that, and we didn't know what was going to happen, and it was unbelievable, and it was the most watched WrestleMania ever, 680 billion or something, I don't know, something crazy. It really was like that, like 600 million people or something watched you.
We're in this period of time where there was the Attitude Era, there was the Ruthless Aggression Era, and now we don't even know what to call this era of WWE, but I feel like we should call it the record era because we're just breaking records left and right.
Yeah.
The new management team, Triple H, Nick Khan.
Love Triple H.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
They, very
Love
much.
Dwayne.
They've made it so easy for me, whereas I've been dubbed the quarterback because they just call the plays. I run the play, and everyone, hopefully, we all look good. So it's a blessed time. Thank all of you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
But I appreciate you coming to our show because it was a very emotional WrestleMania. Here you are in the ring with your mom and the belt.
Oh.
Can you just explain? Please just explain, because we have a lot of families out there watching, but explain the history and all this effort and work and love that went into this whole story.
Oh, my. Gosh, you got me. This title, long ago, 1978, just down the road, Madison Square Garden. My dad came up here and he wrestled superstar Billy Graham, and he won the match, but because of the nature of pro wrestling sports entertainment, it was a count out. He didn't get to leave with this. So at 8 years old, not totally understanding the suspension of disbelief in terms of what we do, what is, what isn't, I just wanted it. And it took me quite some time.
Yeah.
And by the time I got it, and I mean, here she is. She's this lovely, but I would say mean little Cuban lady who's very. It's rather, couldn't ask for a better mom, but not easily impressed.
Yeah.
So this was the ultimate highlight for me. I mean, she raised a wrestler. She was married to a wrestler. She doesn't have boots and tights, but she's a wrestler herself. I was blessed that I could share that with her.
But you were 8 years old. What do you mean? Would you remember?
So they had a picture frame, and that's how I knew it meant something to my dad, because he had done so many things. Of course. They had a picture frame with him holding it, and I remember asking him, like, I didn't know you were WWE champion, and he explained to me that he didn't leave with the title that night, and that was the big 8 years old. This is it. Wow. That's my goal. That's it. And it just took me a while,
Yeah.
Slow learner.
No, it paid off. You were great. Here you are with your dad and your brother. This is in 2013.
Oh.
And here you are with your daughter,
Yeah.
Liberty, at WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania 39. How old was she here?
Right there, WrestleMania 39, she was only 2 years old. And because her first experience in all this was WrestleMania,
Yeah.
now we're at, she's 3.5, we're talking a lot of phrases every time I come home. She's under the impression that what I do for a living is WrestleMania. So just not a wrestler, not a different show. Every show is WrestleMania. And I couldn't have it any other way. That's
You're like, yeah, I'm doing another WrestleMania.
Papa, yep, another WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania, yeah. I'm so happy you're coming back to NBC, Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Main Event. Mm-hmm. That was a big deal for me. I remember I watched that, then watched Saturday Night Live.
It's to be able to bring the concept of Saturday Night's Main Event back, and again, our chief content officer, Triple H, I think for that evening, him again, Nick Khan, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, this trio of management. I think not only are we bringing back an exceptional card, great matches, great show, but there might be a few surprises here and there, some things.
What's happening December 14th? This is you, Kevin Owens.
Yes.
What can you tell us? Anything that's going to happen?
Well, see, now everyone who we've talked about, I like. This particular individual, well, okay, I'll tell you a story. I started wearing suits all the time. Around 2015, it just became this thing. I wanted to represent wrestling and sports entertainment in a different way. Yeah. It's always suits, always customs. I didn't feel pretentious about it. I wasn't holding it over anybody. I just wanted to feel that, how I looked, right?
Look sharp.
Well, I have said in the past that there are men in the wrestling game intimidated by the whole suit thing. And typically what I'll say is, I think they have an issue with their manhood.
Wow.
I don't want to use any crass language here, It is late night. It's Thanksgiving.
Yes, that's correct. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say the word,
Okay.
Penis.
You don't, okay.
But,
All right.
Well, there we go.
I can check that off my bingo card. Yeah.
But no one has been more frustrated and upset with the fact that I wear suits than Kevin Owens. So make your own assumptions there as to what that means. And that is my opponent for Saturday night's main event.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.